What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK Bland back with another episode of the Shop Podcast. And before I want to go ahead and start, our guest of honor, he is not here right now. He's running a little behind. Had some things he had to do with the family. Shout out to my boy Fame Ent2K. That's going to be our special guest today. He had to do some running around with the family, so he's just going to go ahead and jump in. Me and him been communicating when he gets a chance to. We're going to go ahead and move on with the podcast, though. You know, we can't wait around too long. But I do have some other friends in here that I typically rock out with on a normal basis. Um, Hold on, whoa. So yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I had some stuff playing in the background. But let me go ahead and get our guests in here. Let me go ahead and let them introduce yourself. Go ahead, live.
Oh yeah, it's that pony hater. What's up, y'all? It's Live Wire.
All right, man. You know, live. He's always in here, man. The life of the party. Go ahead and shout out yourself, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back again, helping PTK bring out some Xbox news. Just hit 940,000, so not that longer to the million.
Congrats, man. We looking for that, man. Looking for that. That's a big deal, man. Big deal. Like I said, I'm already throwing my hat in. Anybody trying to get an interview with Matt after the million, you got to wait behind me. So I'm just putting that out
PTK's
there.
first.
I got first dibs once he hits that million. So we got another great show lined up for you guys. I appreciate. I just want to start off with saying I appreciate the support for the podcast, for the channel. Every week you guys come out and rock out with me and my guests, and it's always a fun time. So I really do want to start it by saying that also too. So we're gonna go ahead and get on these topics that we got here today. So the first topic I want to touch on is it's been in the news as of recently, and that is the PS2 emulation on the PS4 platform. Now, there's been some kind of muddle back and forth about exactly what does that mean. Are we going to be able to use our PlayStation 2 disc that we already have? Can we do it natively, or do we have to go repurchase the games again digitally? Kind of like a PS Now service, which they do already have. So I'm pretty sure you two are familiar with what's been going on with that situation. So I kind of wanted to get you guys' opinions on that whole situation. So we'll start with you, live. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess it's a good idea. I guess. I know. Well, from what I heard, is that you have to rebuy the game, so that kind of sucks. I mean, it's a cool option if you want to play games that old, but I don't think that many people are going to really want to play it because, you know, we think about games and be like, man, how great was that game when we played it way back when, and then you actually pick it up and you be like, damn, this shit looks terrible. Like, it's an ugly ass game. And I'm just talking about games on 360, not even games on the Xbox or the PS2. Like, they don't look as good as you remember, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying graphics are everything, but some of those visuals are so hard to look at. You'd be like, good grief. But, you know, hey, if you got people that are nostalgic and want to go back, then by all means. But I just don't see why you would do it. Unless they just want it as a talking point to say, look what we got, Microsoft. We got some emulators too or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that could potentially be it. And you brought up a great point because we get nostalgia and say, oh man, I remember back when playing this game, but it's different when you pick the controller up to actually replay the game. You like, I don't know if I really want to play it. And it ain't got nothing to do with graphics. It's just those games, some games don't age that well. Like, I can go back and probably play Halo 1, but do I really want to play Halo 1 all over again? Like, I mean, we got the Master Chief Collection, but it's like, if I had an option, I probably wouldn't, to be honest. That's just me. No, I can't speak for everybody. So go ahead, Matt. Let me get your opinion on what you think about the PS2 emulation.
It's weird because like people seem to be shocked that it was coming out at all, but like it was kind of like stealth announced when they unveiled that Star Wars bundle when they're like, oh, by the way, there's these like 3 or 4 old ass games that are coming with trophy support, and people like didn't realize what that meant, and then like all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, PS2 emulation. It's like it's been known about for a while, which, you know what, I'll give Sony props for it. People wanted it. PS2 emulation. PS2, one of the best systems of all time with a huge catalog of games.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, the question is, and I really haven't like read up much on it, to be honest with you, because I don't really have a PlayStation, so I wouldn't use it. So, but are they going to require you to rebuy your games? Can you just put in a PS2 disc and like download it like you can on the Xbox One? I mean,
I
if you,
believe it's not native. I don't think, from what I understand, it's not native. Now, somebody may correct me in the comment section. I believe from what I've been seeing and what I've been reading, I've been dabbling here and there. I don't think it's native. I don't think you can go actually put in your PS2 disc and it runs like how the Xbox
yeah.
One will play the 360 disc.
So they're going to make you.
It's going to be like
It's,
PS Now, which
yeah,
they
so
pretty
it's
much
going to be
already
like
are.
they're going to make you rebuy your stuff again. I mean, hopefully the prices are cheap.
Yeah.
I did see that the emulation is pretty damn good. They really like better textures, things like that. Like the comparison shots of the Star Wars games were pretty damn good. Like the emulation is pretty top notch.
Yeah.
But it's like it's 2 generations ago, man. You know,
Yeah,
like
that's stretching it.
I mean, I know people love games on the PS2, and certainly I do as well. But like, I kind of feel like, let's just say, for example, shoes on the other foot, Microsoft decides to do original Xbox backwards compatibility instead of 360 with the One. Would that even be that big of a deal? I mean, like,
Hell no.
I mean, the 360 it makes sense because it's the previous generation.
It's
It
the
went
previous
on for 8
generation.
years. There's thousands of games you could do,
Yeah.
huge games. But like, if they did Xbox, it's kind of like, okay, well, you got Halo and you got KOTOR and you got a couple other ones.
Couple other ones, yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes
Yeah,
more
you're
sense
right.
from Sony's perspective because there are more games on the PlayStation 2, but I think people wanted PlayStation 3 backwards
Yeah.
compatibility.
Yeah, I think that probably would have been a better bargaining chip for Sony. And honestly, I think
They're
it's
not
one of
gonna
those
do it.
things that. Yeah, I think it's funny because I think it's one of those things where Sony all year talked about we're not doing backwards compatibility. We're not doing. You know what I'm saying? That they were very stout on that stance. Everybody would ask them in different interviews, Yoshida and Adam, all these other people, Adam Boyes and all these people. They'd be like, no, that's not something that we're looking at. We're not even thinking about that. Then they hit you with this, like you said, it was kind of stealth. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that it's pretty much identical to PS Now, where you're going to more than likely, have to rebuy the games. The emulation, like you said, is top notch, which is great, and I'm happy that it is. But I mean, honestly, like ultimately in the long run, were people really was the draw really that big for PS2? Like you said, man, I really don't think it was. I think people would have been happier with PS3 games. So I agree
Yeah.
with you on that point.
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm not saying that Sony is definitely doing this, but it seems like they're only doing this for PS2 because they're just gonna remaster any games that people want for the PS3.
Probably.
Yeah, so
That's a
it
good
just.
point.
I
That's a
mean,
good
they're getting Heavy Rain and what else they're getting? Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond
Beyond
Two
Two
Games
Souls,
Souls.
that
yeah.
Yeah. Aren't
nobody
they getting a
really has.
Ratchet and Clank? Are they getting a new Ratchet and Clank, or is it a?
Yeah, it's a new
No,
one. It's a brand new one.
yeah,
Oh,
it's the same game, but they like. I mean, it's a remake. It's a remake of the
okay.
original.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, guys. All right. Cool. Cool starting topic, man. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic I had here. And the next topic I want to talk about really is uh, you know, as we know, the video game wars are coming up. Those are, big in some people's eyes. Now, I've never been a huge advocate of the video game awards for, a few different reasons. I'd like to know actually how the nominating is done, which is, it's up to, Jeff Keighley and how he runs his own show, which is fine. But I never really took too much stock in the video game awards. So what I wanted to do is kind of piggyback off of that, and I wanted to kind of each one of us here on the panel today kind of give out our video game or game of the year awards. We're not going to go through each category, but just our game of the year nominations and what we think should be game of the year, that's coming out as far within the last 12 months. So I kind of going to go ahead and start with you live. What will be your game of the year if you were going to put down something on a ballot?
Oh man, it's this game I'm playing right now, man. It's Tomb
Oh, wow.
Raider. Tomb Raider is the dopest game ever. Look, man, it is. Laura Croft is she's a bad bitch, man.
I
She got
think that's a
everything.
good one.
She bad as hell. She cook. She clean. She take your mama out on trips. What? She a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. She everything you need.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Any other particular reason why you think, maybe just, Rise of the Tomb Raider, you think that would be over some of the other games that have come out this year, even over like The Witcher?
Because the game it's open to anybody. That's the thing that makes it more appealing. Like if you want it to be hardcore, you can play it hardcore. But if you want it to be casual, you can play it casual. It's really up to you how you want to approach the game. It's like that's what makes it, accessible. The Witcher is a great game, but it's not. It's so big that even if you put it on the easiest setting as a casual, you'll get lost in it. It's just too big. It's too much to do. Like for somebody who wants to be a completionist or something like that, you can't complete The Witcher like that. I mean, not when they're putting out DLCs that are bigger than the Witcher 2. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. So let's go ahead and get to you, man. What would be your game of the year if you had one of the nominations? What would you pick as your game of the year for this year?
All right. Well, since Live already picked Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'll pick something else. So we can't have all Rise of the Tomb Raiders.
Okay. Uh-oh.
All right,
Hello?
sorry about that. All right,
So
I'm gonna go with because all right, full disclosure, there are games like big games I haven't played. So like for instance, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid enough to make an opinion on that. I haven't played Mad Max. I haven't played Star Wars Battlefront. So just out of the games I played, I would throw in Ori and the Blind Forest would be my choice.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going for my personal one, it's Rise of the Tomb Raider and then Ori second. But since Live already nominated Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'm going to nominate Ori.
Wow.
Ori. Okay, so what makes Ori the game of the year for you?
Make a grown man cry.
Because it's about as close to a perfect game as you can get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's got everything. It's got gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It plays sublime. It's one of the best like the jumping and the platforming is just phenomenal. Like it nails the gameplay aspects of it. The world, the story. I mean, everything about that game is almost. I'm not gonna, because in my opinion, there is no such thing as a perfect game.
Yeah.
But that is about as close to a perfect game, in my opinion, obviously, that you're going to get. So that is why. I mean, for the whole year, like. Ori was my number one, even over Batman, and I'm a huge Batman fanboy.
Yeah.
Even over Witcher, and I'm a huge Witcher kind of guy. Like I love Witcher, but like I still always at the end of the day come back to Ori.
Yeah.
So
Good
that's
pick.
what I would choose.
Good pick. Great pick. Ori's a great one. I mean, honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. I have heard nothing but fantastic things about Rise of the Tomb Raider. I know once I get my hands on it, I'm gonna be super happy with it. I can already tell. I've tried to refrain from watching like playthroughs or anything like that because I don't want to kill it. For me. So that'll probably be high on the list once I get around to it. Wow. Let me see. This year, honestly, for me, probably be and this may be just being a fanboy, but I'm such a huge Halo fan. It'd probably be Halo 5, honestly. In my opinion, just the fact that the story, the whole direction 343 is going with that game, just everything they're doing, graphically it's beautiful. It's probably the best playing first-person shooter I've played in a while. As far as the controls being tight, the game being really fast, quick paced, the upgrades that they've done to the actual gameplay and game style, it's such a great game. It's so fun. A lot of the things you can do. The story is fantastic. It just has all the elements of a game of the year for me, in my personal opinion. But I know once I get around to Rise of the Tomb Raider, that'll probably be high on the list too. And Ori is another great one too. I mean, Ori is when a game gets praised just from its soundtrack alone, and that game's done something right. You know what I'm saying? So, I've heard nothing but great things about Ori also too, and just. It looks like a fantastic game also too, and the little bit of time I've actually got a chance to play with it, it's super fun and it's hard as hell too, which is nice. You don't see that a lot either. It's very unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these games are very forgiving. You can just kind of run through them and that was a nice game. But Ori it's a tough fucking game. Anybody who hasn't gotten a chance to play Ori and the Blind Forest, please pick it up. I believe it's on sale right now. It's pretty cheap, I think, right, Live?
Yes,
you can get it for pretty cheap.
I think it's $10. I think it is.
Yeah, so if anybody listening or watching right now, have not gotten a chance to play Ori and the Blind Forest, please pick it up. It's fantastic. I wouldn't even qualify it as an indie. It's that good.
Yeah.
It's a Microsoft published game. They really got behind Moon Studios, and Moon Studios really delivered. really deliver. And I think, the next time a platformer comes out, we're going to look back and we're probably going to look at that as maybe the standard bearer for platformer, maybe outside of Mario for this generation, in my opinion. So great choices.
I would say, man, if you only could get one game, I would probably go for Halo. Well, you know what? It depends on, like, I mean, if you don't like first-person shooters, then you're not going to want Halo. But if you do, the amount of support that 343 is giving this game, there's no other game, period, not even just with Xbox, PlayStation, there's no other game that's going to get more support than Halo. They're not going to let it die. So you're talking about they're going to be adding stuff throughout until Halo 6 comes out. So it's just your best option if you only can get one game.
Yeah, for sure. I think I second, and that's what I'm saying. It has all the elements, in my opinion, to be Game of the Year, because when you look at it, and you if you were to take a chart, write out 10 different categories, I think it really hits each category of what you want in just a game. You know what I'm saying? Like certain games are geared towards certain categories, story driven or gameplay driven or mechanics driven or difficulty driven, whatever. Halo really touches on all of those, almost like no other game that's currently out right now. Like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, so that may change my tune. So great topic, by the way, guys. So I kind of want to go over the next topic that I have here also too. And speaking of Halo, we can kind of piggyback off of Halo, and that is I kind of want to reinstate what Live just said about the fact that 343 is supporting this game like none other. First point I want to make is that there was a recently new update, so you got Big Team Battle, which is added as far as part of the playlist, which is fantastic. It was probably the most voted thing. People wanted the most in multiplayer at this point. They added that recently, which is great. Also, I saw that the purse for the esports purse went up again.
Yeah.
It went from 1.5 to 1.7. So, I mean, people looking at the rec packs and microtransactions, that's what you do if you're going to support a game. You give people the option. People talk about rec packs and microtransactions in Halo, but you see what 343 is doing with the money that they're getting from these games. Not all of it's going to the purse, but people are enjoying the game so much and purchasing the rec packs that you're seeing the result. Of that, and they're doing it the right way. I mean, the purse is almost at 2. That's, I think, by far the largest esport purse as far as the big games like Call of Duty, Battlefield. I think COD is like $1 million. I believe the COD XP purse is like $1 million. This is almost at 2. So, I kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on what you guys think about that. As far as what they're doing with Halo 5 and the updates and what 343 is doing. So let's go ahead and start with you this time, Matt.
I mean, what they're doing in Halo 5 is fantastic. I don't have a big problem with the rec packs. I don't. I know why people don't like them and why people like them, but to me, they're like nothing. I have no strong opinion either way. Like if we get free DLC because of it, then I'm cool with it. Like, the way everything about Halo 5 is structured was actually pretty good in comparison to how, like, Master Chief Collection and Halo 4 were received. It's like, you got this microtransactions, which they knew people were going to bitch about because it's the first time microtransactions are going to be introduced into the Halo universe. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, you know what? Like, Halo's Halo and Microsoft is Microsoft. Does Microsoft need to nickel and dime their customers like they are with Halo? And it's like, I don't even really, because like this type of microtransactions you don't need. Like there's different types of microtransactions. This one is kind of like one of those where it's like you spin the wheel, you don't know what you're gonna get, and it's priced cheap enough where someone's like, all right, I'll pay $2 for this or whatever. But then at the same time they're like, all right, so we're gonna take some of the proceeds we got and we're gonna throw it to the prize pool for the competitive esports thing. So that's really cool. That they're doing that because they're trying to make Halo 5 like matter again, I guess, on the pro scene, because I don't think
for a while there it died. Call of Duty, Battlefield, those kind of supplanted Halo as the biggest first-person shooter, esports. So
because there was a time when Halo was the first-person shooter.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, Halo 2, it's probably the peak. Halo 2.
Halo 2, Halo 3.
Halo 3, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been supplanted, mainly because it's exclusive. You can't, Call of Duty's multi-platform is going to sell more copies just based on that. I mean, this is kind of weird to say, but if Halo was multi-platform, it probably could have been. It could have rivaled, Call of Duty's Ascension.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, obviously that's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, that's like one of the reasons why the whole Minecraft thing, which we talked about before, and I don't want to bring it up, but why you keep a game exclusive rather than like.
No, but I mean that's absolutely what it is, because look at Destiny.
Yep.
For the longest we had Call of Duty first, and then it went to the PlayStation. So we had Bungie working on Halo games, and then when they finally were able to do multi-plats, that's why they sold so much on PlayStation. They're like, we got to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
man, free DLC, I'll take it. 15 free maps. Like, they're adding all these free updates. Just had a big team battle. They got Forge coming next month. They're just giving people what they want, and I think it's a return of the like. I understand, like, sales are down for Halo 5, but it's understandable because you got to figure, because sometimes sales for games are based on the previous game, right? Even with movies.
Yeah.
Like like the first week sales are never about the game itself. It's always about the marketing and how people felt about the previous game or movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good point.
People didn't like Halo 4, right? Like it wasn't a really good Halo game, and quite frankly, it's probably the worst Halo game. And then you had the debacle with the Master Chief Collection.
I don't share that opinion. Go ahead though, man.
I'm just saying collectively. I mean, obviously there are people who like Halo 4, but I'm saying the majority of people didn't like it. And then you have the debacle of what happened with Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
So it creates this sour taste in people's mouths about Halo.
Yeah.
So, but now you have Halo 5, which is a return to form. It's really good. Campaign's great. I mean, people aren't going to like the story, but people don't like a lot of stuff. And the multiplayer is the most important aspect of a Halo game, and they completely nailed it.
Yeah.
So I feel if they just keep on doing what they're doing, then Halo, it's the sales are going to go back up. Halo 6 is going to sell more. People just need to get they're worried about the Halo franchise after the Master Chief Collection. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't know if you saw, but Syndicate is not selling good.
Yeah,
and it's basically because Unity was so terrible and everybody hated it.
People were scared. People are doing that. Instead of you go to say you go to, it's kind of an analogy. Instead of just typically you go to a community pool, you just run and jump in. Everybody's kind of dipping their toes in, trying to figure like, do I really want to jump in this time? It's kind of that situation.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got our guest of honor in here, everybody. I told you guys I did have a special guest this week. I don't want to cut you off, man. I just want to make sure.
Oh, that's cool.
We get this out. So go ahead and shout yourself out, Fang.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is FameEntertainment.com, and I really want to apologize for showing up late. Daddy and husband duties called, and so I kind of got held up. But I do apologize. I'm happy to be here.
For sure, man. I let everybody know ahead of time. Man. Still rocking it. Yeah, you kind of your mic kind of robot. Yeah, your mic robot a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah, your mic's kind of robot and Fame. You may want to fix it.
You're going full bot now.
Yeah, you're going kind of good. Fix the mic. Fix the mic, man. Uh-oh. Yeah, try it.
Yeah, just unplug and plug back in.
Yeah, just unplug the mic and plug it back in.
I don't know if he can hear us, can he?
I hope he should be able to hear us. Let me tweet him. Hold on, everybody. This is live, so.
It was that toy that came out when we were kids. It was like the CNC or the Simons. Oh man, I can't remember. The thing that used to press the buttons and like spell out. Then you say the word that you spelled out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, so it's cool, man. We glad to have you in here, man. Like I said, I believe we're all in here big fans of yours. I know I am. So glad to have you in here, man. We got to get that mic situation under control. Yeah, get that fixed up. It's no problem. No, I let everybody know ahead of time you was gonna be running late, man. No issues here, brother. We just no cuts here. I don't do any editing on the podcast, so all of this is in there. So we're gonna go ahead now. I believe when we started out before Fame jumped in, we were talking about the Halo 5 updates and everything like that. I want to get your opinion live. I know you didn't get a chance to say.
Oh well, my idea with the the updates is, man, it's great, man. You know what? The thing that's cool, but a lot of people complained about was the simple fact that they didn't have Forge, they didn't have Warzone. I mean, they have Warzone. They didn't have Big Team Battle day one. But it makes so much sense. Like if you're making a new, element to multiplayer with Warzone, everybody's just gonna jump into big team battles because that's what they know.
Yeah.
So to prevent people from just disregarding something you put all this time and effort in trying to give them, and they're gonna just be like, whatever, that's why they held it back. Because people that want to go into big team battle, they're always gonna go into big team battle. So I mean, give them a taste of something new, because it's like with anything, you tell somebody like, look, you got to try this. And be like, nah, I don't like it. Just try it. No, I don't want it. I don't like it. Come, listen, just try it. Try it. Oh shit, this is the best shit ever, yo. Why didn't you show it to me before? I tried. I begged you, and you wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is. So it's like they had to put it out that way in order. I mean, but some people just like complaining for shit. Even if you could see that shit from a mile away, they will still complain. Because we all knew Forge was coming. We all know that big team battle. They said it like multiple times, but people still complained about it and put it in the reviews. Like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's just a great addition. It's just giving people what they want. I mean, and the fact that they're just constantly, they've been so great about it, following up with, with the fans of, it's a huge market for Halo, what the fans want to see, and interaction with the fans, and just letting us know, like, hey, we're going to take care of these things. They've been great about, being prompt and, doing what they said they're going to do, which is big. Gamers have ADD. If they don't, it's more of what you've done for me now lately, rather than, how it used to be kind of in the past. So I think they did a great job, and I think it's just only going to continue to get better. So if you're just tuning in right now, Fame is in here. He's having some mic issues. I just sent him a new link. Oh, there he goes. Let's see how he sound. Let's test it out. You there, Fame? Okay, he may have to get his mic, get the mic situation together. Yeah, but we gonna figure this out. Like I said, everybody, live, no cuts. I don't edit anything, so all of this is in here. So, but I kind of want to move on to the next topic that I have here also too, and that is it is officially the 10th anniversary of the 360. In my opinion, one of the greatest consoles ever made, in my opinion. And I kind of wanted to talk about, what are some of our fondest memories on the 360? I know for me, just to start out here, the fondest memory for me was really, my wife actually purchased my first 360. She surprised me with it. Like she used to work at Walmart way back in the day, and I was still on the playing on the OG Xbox, playing Halo 2 on the OG Xbox. And I know she came home one day and surprised me with it. It was literally it was a huge jump for me. And I've been down with Xbox ever since, even since the original Xbox. But I know that was the biggest thing for me is getting in, playing Halo 2 online with other people. I remember getting the box, getting the 360. The next day, calling my cable provider to get some internet. Like, hey man, I need some internet so I can get online and play with some of these people, because I was so hyped to finally get on Xbox Live and play with some people on Halo, Halo 2 multiplayer. So I kind of want to go around the panel and see what you guys thoughts are. We're gonna go ahead and start with our guest, Fame. So what was your most your not original thought, but what's your most fond thought of the Xbox 360?
Man, you know what? It's the last generation went so long, and it was at 360 had so many games on that moment. I've just kind of what it was, it was just being a party. Sometimes not even gaming. You would be in party with friends, just the social aspects, of Xbox Live. It's made it so great. Now sometimes you can just get on your Xbox and you can just sit there at the home screen and just talk about games with people. Just games and just talk. It just seemed like you didn't even have to game to enjoy, Xbox Live. In my experience, of course, when the heavy hitters came out, the Halos, when especially 3, and then Gears, and everyone was on there, and it was just you just up all night gaming. But it's just the social aspect. You know, the community was great. You know, it still is great, but community was better back then. You know, everyone was just, you know, excited to be gaming. There wasn't much nonsense and BS going on out there. It's just, like I said, I think it's just the social aspect of it in general is my favorite moment of 360 days, because everyone was just, and like I said, it wasn't even necessarily having to do with gaming. Everyone just wanted to talk about gaming, talk about what's going on, and people would fight to get in party chats. You know, now I think we got a sport with the 12-man party chat. But back when it was 6-man, it's a fight for room. You know, kicking people out, going back and forth.
Yeah, I
think just the social aspect in general made the 360 just so great for me.
Nice. So what you think, Matt? What's your fondest memory of the 360?
Oh man, there's really too many to go through. I'll just give you like the game that kind of like sold me, because I had her when I was hooked on achievements right away. I think I told you that before. Like that first achievement, I was kind of like, what the hell's this? But man, the game I played, and I still think it's the best game of that generation. So the entire 360 life cycle. Like, I was blown away. I'd never played anything like it. Was BioShock 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
like,
wow.
I sat there. I got it a week early, and I remember playing it and getting, like, messages upon messages about it. And I just sat there playing that game, not knowing, like, I was hyped for it, but, like, not knowing what to fully expect because none of the reviews were out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just be completely just blown away by that game to the point where, like, my mouth was on the floor.
Yeah,
you know,
BioShock was a great game. That was a great fucking game. That was it was a game changer. It came in and shut shit down. I remember, man. I remember when BioShock dropped. It was, damn. Yeah, I remember sitting there losing hours in that game.
You know, it's great for the people who missed it last gen. I mean, it's supposed to be going backwards compatible next month or the next couple of months, and it's like $5 right now for, you know. So people should go check it out if they didn't get to play it last gen.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. So what about you, Lai? What's your fondest 360 memory, man?
Being connected to Xbox Live, I think, because on the original Xbox, I didn't do live. I was like, I wasn't convinced that it was going to be good. And most of my friends, like, we were all in school together, so we didn't need Xbox Live to, like, play together. We all play, like, we just connect our Xbox together and play, like,
system link.
And we used to have it linked through the dorm, so we would play that way. But it wasn't until everybody graduated, basically, and then, you know, when it came out, I was like, damn, I'm going to still play with my friends. And the crazy thing about Xbox Live is, like, you're able to connect with your friends, play a game just like you did when you were in school or whatever, and it's the most social. Like, I speak to my friends more on Xbox than I ever did on calling them on the phone, because it's just like, oh, such and such online. Yo, what you doing? Blah, 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 blah. We just shooting the breeze just because I'm on Xbox Live, you know? Like, that aspect of just playing games and being socially connected at all times, that's what makes Xbox dope. It's like, you know, before you would just be like, all right, you're playing a game, you're completely isolated from the world. You have no idea what the fuck anything else is going on, which is cool, but sometimes you just, like, you know, just being chimed in here and there without somebody, like, hitting you up on your phone. And that's why this, you know, 360 built on that shit, like, from the beginning, and then Xbox One just taking it to a whole other level, and that shit is just crazy, man. Like, I mean, I love it. I mean, that's why I love it, because it's constantly evolving, constantly, you know, progressing, and man, it's just dope. And the games are just insane, like, you know, Gears and fucking BioShock and Mass Effect, which I never thought I would like an RPG, never. And then Mass Effect came out, which is like an RPG that's like Star Wars mixed with freaking Star Trek, and they were like, here, they had a baby, and this is what you got, you know, and I was just like, oh, shit.
You know what's funny is when my girl brought the 360, we went back to Walmart right after, and you know, because it was a launch lineup, you know what I'm saying, and I don't know if you guys remember the 360's launch lineup. You know, you had games like Perfect Dark Zero, you had Blue Dragon, you know, he had those kind of games. I'm sitting around like, damn, like what should I get? Like I end up getting like all of them. Like fuck it, I'm gonna just grab every single one. But the great thing about the 362 was that it was so much of a diverse console. Like if you think about the games that are on that console that Microsoft were putting out at the time, the exclusives, even the multiplats too, it had a lot of diversity. I mean, if you go back and take a look at some of them 360 games, I didn't think I'd even play Blue Dragon. I ended up enjoying the hell out of that game. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't think I'd play, some of the other
You
games,
got
but
a
I
point on the
remember,
diversity, man. Great,
yeah,
great point on diversity. A lot of those games used to come back too.
yeah,
Like
yeah, it'd be nice, man. I mean, definitely. I mean, I know money and timing has a lot to do with that, but there's a lot of 360 games I would like to see get a breath of fresh air. Get put into maybe next generation form or of some sort. It'd be fantastic. So all right, so let's go ahead and move on from that topic. And so the next thing I kind of want to talk about is I know, like I said before, typically, I don't really get into the inflammatory topics on my channel. I do like to talk about everything, though, to be honest. But this is kind of old news. It's kind of about the Sony exec kind of shaming Microsoft and the Tomb Raider sales in the UK. Now, as you know, the marketing manager at Sony, it's kind of their job to do that. So I didn't really make a big deal when I heard about it. Because Sony's kind of been doing this throughout the generation. They kind of, taking pot shots at Xbox whenever they can, whether it be in good taste or bad taste. I don't know if they may be feeling themselves at this point, but when you're when you work for a large company, you do speak for the company, especially being that you're like a marketing manager. That's what you do. So it kind of, for me, it didn't really bother me, but I wanted to get you guys' opinions on. Did you guys think it maybe was snarky, or did you guys not really pay attention to it at all? I know I kind of just glanced at it and was like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with our guest again, Fame.
when I first saw it, like first thing came to mind, it was classless. When you're working for a big company like this, you need to watch what you say. I mean, I know I get it; they're supposed to be, throwing stuff like that, but to me, it was classless. I don't think you ever see something like this coming out of Microsoft. I think those guys, kind of have a more respect for other companies, especially with the Xbox team with Phil being here. He shows a lot of respect for Sony and Nintendo. So I think he makes sure everyone under him shows a lot of respect for the other companies. It was classless, and that's something Sony has done this entire gen. Even when it comes to the launch and things like that, and they did, how games are shared on PlayStation. It's just who Sony is right now.
Yeah.
They've gotten comfortable, and they're so comfortable they believe that they can just take shots like this. And I just hoping that the Xbox team stays true to who they are and continue to grind and focus on their games, what they can do, and not what another company is doing. Because when you're focusing on the other company, you can get caught up really quick. Trying to focus on what they're doing instead of staying focused and true to who you are. You worry about everything else. So I think it was a classless move. I'm glad there was no response from no Xbox execs or no Xbox devs like that. I'm glad they're staying true to who they are and focusing on the games and what they're putting out, and not focusing on what Sony's putting out because it's irrelevant. What they're doing if you're not doing your job.
And I
think it
want
was
to
classless,
reiterate what you just said.
but I'm not surprised because that's what Sony is now.
Yeah, I want to reiterate what you just said. People need to get this, and I don't think people, especially Xbox gamers this generation, it seems like what you just said hits the nail on the head. And we've been trying to push this point for a while now. At least I have. What I've been doing is that Microsoft ultimately, what Phil and those guys are doing, this is competition. Obviously, they want to win a generation, whatever the case may be. That's why they're doing this. But ultimately, Phil and Co. Everybody that's up under him, do not give two shits what's going on at Sony. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really think when these things happen, they look at it like, oh, well, they're taking another shot. And I'm so glad that Phil's instilled this culture since he's been the head of Xbox that we're not going to respond. We're going to respect all these companies. You always see every single guy, Mike Ibarra, Major Nelson. Those guys are always retweeting and tweeting out, when Sony and Nintendo something good happens or whatever the case may be. They're always showing respect to all the companies. And I think that that's fantastic that they're doing it. And Fame brought up a great point that, I don't think that they really care all that much. They're really invested in the Xbox brand, and that's really all that they care about at this point. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to Matt. What do you think about the whole Sony marketing manager talking about the Tomb Raider sales in the UK?
I mean, I saw it. I didn't even really give it any second thought, other than like, you really shouldn't talk about sales of a game when your own game only sold like 20,000 copies in the same week and didn't work when it came out. Like, like I understand, because that tweet, right? That tweet was what like it meant to me was I felt it was a veiled threat to other developers to stop their exclusive deals with Microsoft. That's what it read to me. Like, he was just like, oh, look at the bad sales of Tomb Raider, like, and then you go, oh, it'll sell better on PlayStation later, meaning like pretty much saying like don't go with Xbox, go with PlayStation. Which, okay, he's a PlayStation dude. I understand from a business standpoint that like that is what he has to do. He has to get people to like, buy it on PlayStation, developers sign with them and stuff. But man, what the old saying, like, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house or whatever.
Yep.
Like, the dude's game was broken at launch, regardless of how it is now. Like, it didn't work at launch, and it sold like pure crap. So, come on now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy about the whole thing because he was talking about the sales. The sales for the Tomb Raider were literally like 2 days worth of sales. It wasn't even a week.
Yeah, plus it was, it's exclusive. It wasn't multi-platform, so of course it's going to be down. It came out the same week as Fallout 4, which sold 500,000 copies in the UK. So, I mean, like, we could have a discussion about what went wrong with Rise of the Tomb Raider, like why it didn't sell as much as it should have and things like that. But, I mean, the comment was just, I laughed, it was just funny to me because the guy's own game didn't sell shit, so.
What's crazy is Tomb Raider was 63,000 in a day. It wasn't Drop Club at 22,000 in a week. So a day and a week. I mean, it was. You're right. That comparison. I mean, it was silly when your game can't sell as much in a week, and this game sold this much in a day. You really can't, throw stones in a glass house.
Yeah. It was a little short-sighted. I think after he put it up there, it's kind of, he probably went back and was like, I hope he did. At least for his sake, I hope he did, because it was a little short-sighted on his part. I don't know if he was kind of in his feeling. I don't even know why he would even bother commenting even about it. Like, what's your point? Like, what point are you trying to make? Like,
he's just trying to remind people it's coming out to PlayStation.
It's, I don't know. That's Sony's
that's
job.
all.
Well,
he is Sony, though.
Yeah, I know that.
I think to a point too, for people to understand. You know how you had said how they want people to buy it on PlayStation or Xbox. Well, you got to remember, after this deal, Phil Spencer and those guys aren't really worried about third-party deals anymore. I think they even realize now that doing this with Tomb Raider was a mistake. They're focused on first-party games, so people want to, let's do more deals with Sony. That's perfectly fine because Microsoft and Xbox are worried about their first-party titles anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I still think the deal was fine because Rise of the Tomb Raider is such a great game. The problem is it came out the same week as Fallout.
Yeah.
That is the I mean, that is the one. Imagine if like Fallout or Tomb Raider just needed a week by itself, where it was the only game that was out. Because that's all people would have talked about. They would have talked about how amazing it was and how much better than the first it was. Instead, people talked about Fallout 4, and it just dominated the news.
But I think Tomb Raider, I know Aaron Greenberg had tweeted out, because somebody asked him specifically, is he worried about the release date for Tomb Raider, and he really felt like it could stand on its own. I really feel like Tomb Raider is going to sell consistently, and we're turning this into sales, but it's really not about that. I think the game is that good, and I think that it's going to do well consistently. Just think about it. They got a year exclusivity deal. 12 months from now, no, we're not even going to be talking about this. All the playthroughs on YouTube are going to be done within 2 months of the game coming out, or a month of the game coming out. Like, even if Sony gets the game at that point, it's not going to be... You got Uncharted out by then. You got damn Gears almost out by then. You got all these Scalebound, Quantum Break. You have all these other games, Horizon possibly coming out on PlayStation. So it's not really going to be, it's going to be an afterthought at that point. But I think the game has legs. I mean, the original, the Tomb Raider that was on the 360 and the PS3 that ported over, it had legs. It eventually sold about 2 million copies over time. So it was just, kind of trickling its way to where it's at now. But I think the game is such a great franchise, and I think people are going to grow to appreciate the Rise of the Tomb Raider game, because in my opinion, it's the best Tomb Raider game to date. From what I've seen, I have not gotten a chance to play it yet, but from just what
Yeah.
I've heard, what I've seen, the little bit that I've seen, it looks like the best one to date from what I've been hearing from you guys too. So I want to go
True.
ahead and get Live's opinion on, his comments and what he said about Tomb Raider.
Well, I mean, obviously Tomb Raider is an awesome game, but the only reason why dude is able to take these shots is because the giant that Microsoft is. If Microsoft was just some other company, company on the same level of Sony, they could pop shit and nobody would say shit. But Microsoft can't. Like, everything they say, everything they do is put under a microscope. That's why people ignore this shit, the dumb shit that these Sony execs and devs say and do. They just ignore it like it doesn't matter because they're not put on the same pedestal as, this is like the president. Like, if I pop shit on a podcast, it's like whatever, because I'm just some dude just doing a podcast with a bunch of gamers. If the president was on on a podcast or the radio popping shit, that shit would be fucking crazy. Like, the world would stop and then everybody would just lose their mind. You see what I'm saying? It's a completely different circumstance. Sony versus Microsoft. Like, everything, the rules are completely different. So
That's
even
true.
though we're talking about Xbox, it's an entity that is part of Microsoft, and Microsoft is part of being a standard of excellence. So when they fail to meet their standard of excellence, everybody jumps up and loses their mind. Like this guy I was talking to on Twitter, he was saying that Halo 5 isn't good because the sales aren't as big as Halo 2. And I was like, well, shit, that's like telling Kobe, you suck, Kobe, because you only scored 60, you scored 81 the other day. Be like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I still scored 60 though. Nah,
Yeah.
it ain't good enough. Scored 80 the other day. Now you suck. Fucking yeah, just go somewhere, retire. Like this. That's basically how they're treating Microsoft. Like they're treating them to the aspect like if they can't live up to the shit that they did like last year, then they're not as good anymore. And the shit it's a crazy double standard. But Sony is okay to suck.
And it's crazy because if you go back and I want to encourage people to go watch this video. Ryan McCafferty did a podcast. He had Seamus Blackley. He did a show. I think it was E3 this year or last one or two. He did a show with Seamus Blackley, Peter Moore, and Phil Spencer. And he asked a bunch of great questions. I may go ahead and put that video on the link so everybody can check it out. And if you realize from the concept, from when Microsoft originally, he asked Seamus about, how was the reception of Microsoft. Xbox, when Microsoft decided they were going to get into this whole console game, and start, making a console, Seamus was saying that, when Xbox, when they went around to these dev studios and these, video game magazines and, these different places to say, hey, Microsoft is going to be making a console, they had people like developers calling Microsoft like, you guys can't be serious, like you guys aren't really making a console. Like people didn't want them to do that. Like people didn't want them. So I think just from that standpoint, I think there's always been some kind of disdain for Microsoft, being in that space, because they are such a large company and they're such a huge company as far as like software, they're on the same level as Apple, Google. I don't think they've always been embraced in that space in that video, and I still don't think they are, fully. It's obviously gotten better as time goes by. People have kind of just gotten over it, but I still think that resonates with a lot of the media, with even Sony, a lot of their competitors. I think that's why they do take shots the way they do, and Fame is right. It's classless. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's classless. And it's that's like barbershop talk. Like leave that shit alone. You could have left that to yourself. You didn't have to tweet that out or say what you said. It was really, come on now, like really, let's stop. So I kind of agree with you guys on that point too. Also, so kind of one of the last topics I did want to bring up here was as we know, we've had so many great games across all platforms. Some of you guys may be multi-console owners. I only have an Xbox One. I know Matt only has an Xbox One. I'm not sure about you, Fame. You may have a PS4 also too. I'm not sure.
I'm multi-console.
Yeah, he's multi-console also too. I believe Live. Do you have a PS4 also too, or you just have a Xbox at this point?
Fuck no.
Okay, so he just has an Xbox. Okay, so
yes.
we've all played on PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah, I
Nintendo.
played on it. Yeah.
Most of us, some of us have Wii U's also too. But I kind of wanted to get in. We all know we've had great games this generation. We can name them off at the top of our head. Halo 5, a ton of different games have come out that have been great. Multi-class and exclusives. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys to go around the panel. What's your most underrated game so far this generation on any platform? Not just Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo also too. I kind of want to go around the panel, see what you guys' most underrated game this generation is. So we're going to go ahead and start with our guest, Fame.
I've been talking about for a while now. When it came out, a lot of people that pay attention to it, and I'm not sure if it came out on last year or not. But Legend of Korra, it was an absolute fun game. It was like $15 when it came out, and
I know Matt.
If you look at it, if you look at the total of the price and what you got for that price and how fun the game is, I mean, whenever you unlock all of your avatar abilities and mix them all together, it's some of the funnest gameplay that you could have had in the game. I think combined with the gameplay and the price of the game, it was wildly underrated. Great game. I encourage anybody to go try. Even if you're not an Avatar fan, follow Avatar, something like that. It's definitely worth the buy. It is so much freaking fun that you can have for $15. Great game and wildly underrated.
I may have to go look that shit up, man. To be honest with you, I did see it. Wasn't it? It wasn't Games for Gold. I don't believe it was Game. I think it was like they had a promotion where it was like super cheap. It was like a gold deal that they were having. It was part of one.
It ain't hit Games for Gold yet, and I think it's still $15. It might even be $10 for all I know now. But it's you definitely should check it out, man. It'll be the most fun you ever had for $15. Promise you.
Nice, definitely will check it out. What you got, Matt? Most underrated game this generation.
Most underrated game of the generation. Jesus, I played a lot of games.
Like 50 million games, I know, Matt.
Yeah, I played a lot of them, but you know what? I'm gonna go with it's a game that came out last year. There was kind of a divisive review. Some people really liked it, some people hated it. I loved it. Alien Isolation.
You motherfucker!
Uh-oh.
That was not true.
Oh man, it looks like I stole lives. Oh shit.
Touche.
Yeah, I remember, I forget who it was. I think IGN gave it like a 5 or some shit, and like a couple other sites like trashed it because like you had to manually save all that stuff. But then there were other websites that really gave it like good high marks. And when I finally played it, I was blown away by how how good it was and how long it was too. It wasn't like a short game. It was quite lengthy. And I even played it on the hardest difficulty setting. I think there was an achievement. Yeah, I did, because there was an achievement for it. I loved everything about that game. So to me, because I was just looking through my list of games I played this gen, and I was like, that one just stuck out to me. It's like, all right, it's Alien Isolation. They're not making a sequel, unfortunately, because it didn't sell well enough, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But man, if you want to get like tense, like there hasn't been a game in a long time where like you play and you have the alien like tracking your movements, right? And you can hear them, and like since you have to manually save, like you feel tense and worried that he's gonna kill you because like it's been 10, 15, 20 minutes since your last save point. And there are not that many games that actually like do that to you. Like Outlast has like checkpoints you go through and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That when you hit certain points, it'll give you a save. So it's not the same feeling. Like this one, there were times when I went in Alien Isolation with like 45 minutes without seeing a save point. So you get that kind of dread feeling like, man, I really don't want to, like, I need to find a save station, and like you're kind of carefully going through, and then the alien drops behind you, and you're all freaking out. It's like, it was just such like a great combination of like the fear of dying coupled with the fear of like having to replay areas, which was I thought was a great design choice. Now the modern media, they hate that shit because they're like, we want quick saves and we want fucking checkpoints and all the time, and if I had to replay 20 minutes, it's the worst game of all time. And any person that reviewed that game and gave it below like a 5 or below, it's just like immediately discredited with me. But yeah, that would be my underrated game for the gen, okay. Alien Isolation. Like I love that game.
All right, so I know he stole your pick live, but since we just for shits and giggles, I mean,
I was sitting here. Yo, look, man, I'm a rebuttal. Like Aliens Isolation by hands down. No, it should be like a 9, yo. For survival horror, that it should be rated a 9. But you know what the problem is? A lot of people went into it, especially reviewers, because they're just trying to bang these games out. Like, this game, all right, next game, next game. And Aliens Isolation, you can't power through it.
Yep.
You can't shoot your way through the game. You have to think your way through the game. And this shit is scary as hell. Like, you know, it's hard to play that game, like beat it and then just jump back in, unless you like your fucking heart beating out your chest all the goddamn time. Like, you're gonna need some time off from it. But the fact that it gets you to that point and gets you feeling that way is just, it's incredible, and it pays homage to any and every Aliens fan ever. Like, if you love Aliens and you haven't played Aliens Isolation, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I really don't. Like, that game, when Ryan McCafferty said the shit drags on, I said, what? I played the whole game. I was like, yo, the game was perfect. Like, the way it was designed, it was perfect to the way an Aliens game should be played. Like, you're gonna, I don't remember going through too many, like, repeating the same sections too many times, but you're in a ship, you all right? So, of course, you're gonna go, you know, it's not like an open world, but the fact that they just do all this shit to pay homage to old, you know, scenes and things like, I'm like, yo, hands down. And then the end, yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I love the game. I love it. I don't know, a 6. You know, they should get eaten by the alien putting that damn score.
All right, guys, great picks, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my pick now. I think this is a game that was, you know, universally loved by most Xbox guys. You know, I know some were like, kind of back and forth on the fence, and you know, it was exclusive. It was new from a studio that never had made a Xbox One game, and I think the most underrated game so far this generation has been, in my opinion, Sunset Overdrive. As far as like just for fun, just for overall fun, and the fact of what they, I think people miss the point of the game. Like, the game doesn't even take itself seriously. Like, why is everybody else taking this game seriously? Like, I've seen reviews and it's too short, and I don't get the gameplay. I don't get, there's no really point. You know, the stories, whatever. You don't look at the damn marketing for the game. None of it was serious. It was a fun game. Like, that was the whole point of the game. Like, you know, I've seen reviews and people, you know, saying this and that of, oh, it's not that great, you know, it doesn't have much replay value. Get the f out of here. Like, you taking this game way too seriously. Like, that game at the time when I first saw it, when they first showed us, like, some actual gameplay, I was blown away. I was blown away with the fact that, you know, you had your Jet Set Radio type feel, you know, within kind of like an open world. You had these crazy characters, and the characters just, you know, you can obviously make your own characters, but you know, it's just the characters that were in the game, you know, how you interact with everybody was so whack. It was like a Looney Tunes commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was literally like it was made by Warner Brothers or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy, you know, the wacky guns, the weapons, and it was just such a fun game, and I think a lot of people missed the point of the actual game. You know, they're looking for, okay, let me get into this game. Let me what's the story? What's the story, you know, gonna be like? What's these characters? You know, you're missing the point, bro. You're thinking too hard. Just play the goddamn game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, that game was a little bit underappreciated in my opinion, and I think it was a fantastic game. So I know most of us here played it, got it, enjoyed it, but I know a lot of other people that were like, so what? It wasn't that big of a deal, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You missed the whole point of the game if you think that. So like, that game is fun for like a straight up, you know, pick up and play type game. Like, especially after you beat it, you can always go back and just jump in and just, like, you know, you got a couple of minutes, pick up and play. It's nothing, you know, it doesn't feel like it holds you into that one spot too long, but it's just something that you enjoy every time you jump in there. It just puts a smile on your face, like, yo, I remember this shit is crazy. Like, and I think that was
the weapons were crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's one of the biggest crimes of this gen, man. The fact that Sunset Overdrive underperformed and is not getting a sequel. It's a tragedy. I think it's a tragedy.
But to me, the game didn't underperform. I think people just didn't give it a chance. The game didn't underperform to me. I think people just didn't give it a chance. People was grimy because it wasn't exclusive, because the developers are normally with Sony. I think people just didn't give it a chance. It was a great game.
Yeah. No, it's just, you're right. I mean, I'm not. There's nothing against the game. The game's great. It was, I think, my top 5 last year for Game of the Year. But I don't know, man. Like, I want a sequel to that game, just like I want a sequel of Alien Isolation. But it's like, fuck, I ain't gonna get
Yeah,
one because Creative
yeah,
Assembly is doing Halo Wars 2,
Yeah.
and I don't know what Insomniac is doing. I actually like I.
yeah. Are they? They're not. Who's doing the Ratchet and Clank game? Not them. It's the.
No,
Is it?
they're doing it. They're doing
Okay,
Ratchet
they're
and
doing
Clank.
the Ratchet and Clank.
They're
Okay,
doing a
so.
VR game too. I know that. I'm not
Oh,
sure
okay.
what that studio's doing. Maybe they. I mean, maybe they are doing Sunset Overdrive too. But
I hope so. I
I had
mean,
heard that they're not. But so.
I just know that game for what it was a fantastic game. I just didn't think it got the appreciation and the support that it should have. So, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
I thought,
I mean, that game, the funny thing about Sunset Overdrive, I wasn't gonna get it because you didn't see a lot about it. Like that whole time, they were just showing Assassin's Creed around the same time it came out.
yeah,
Unity, and that shit was terrible. But that's all you saw, so that's one of the
yeah,
reasons why it didn't really pop off like that.
yeah.
It wasn't getting the love that.
Wasn't getting the love that I thought that we thought it should have. You're right, and I think honestly, and this is a black eye. I know a lot of us have this game. All of us here on this podcast have this game. A lot of my buddies that I talk to on Twitter and play games with have it. So I'm not talking to you guys who have it, but a lot of it's funny because, and this is kind of a black eye, honestly, in the Xbox community. It's going to be a whipping for some of you guys. I'm sorry, I love you guys, the Xbox community, but a lot of us went out and said that we wanted these kinds of games, and when we get them, we didn't really support it that well. In all honesty, and I think that's what Matt was talking about, that he felt like it was more underappreciated. And it's not so much sales, although sales are what's going to determine whether or not they're going to make another one, because ultimately they have to make some money. They have to see enough support for the game to, warrant another sequel. So I think a lot of us didn't really, and I think that's one of the things that I didn't. I kind of look back at this, as a community Xbox guys, and I'm like, that was one we kind of missed the boat on. You know what I'm saying? Because we said we wanted games like that. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of dropped the ball with supporting that game. In my opinion, I can't speak for the other guys here, but I think we dropped the ball a little bit with that game. So it's kind of unfortunate that we're not going to get. You know if that's confirmed, Matt?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, nothing's confirmed. I just heard that they're not doing a sequel to it. Now, I mean, obviously things can change, but
yeah.
So
because not to spoil it, but the end of the game kind of set itself up for a sequel, so I was excited about it. I mean, for people who played it, understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The game set itself up for a sequel, and I was like, "Holy hell!" Part 2 gonna be crazy.
Imagine that with some cloud computing, that kind of game, with like the cloud computing behind it.
Well,
Man,
I think what they should have done is made the whole game co-op, like the actual story.
Yeah, that would have been dope if they would have did like some co-op for the whole story. That would have been dope. Yeah, but then the world probably would have had to be big. I mean, it was already a vast world. Beautiful game by the way, graphics, everything. It played like butter. You know what I'm saying? Like butter. But they did. Insomniac did a great job with that game. But you're right. I mean, I think maybe there could have been a few things that would have made it more appealing to more people, like maybe some online co-op for the campaign or whatever the case may be. But I think it still was a fantastic.
I think it was because it was unknown. Like I remember when I went to go buy that shitty ass game. What was that stupid shitty ass game? Damn, with the boring ass lead character, and he like plays with phones and shit. What's that shit called? Stupid ass game.
Oh, Watch Dogs.
Oh, that piece of shit. Oh, I still got it on my doggone hard drive. I want to burn it. Like that shitty. I should have got the Shadows of Mordor. I was sitting there looking at Shadows of Mordor and Watch Dogs, and I was like, man, Watch Dogs. They're talking about it. They're saying it's good, and they're saying Shadow of Mordor is good too. But Watch Dog has multiplayer. I played that shit. I was like, this shit is the most fucking boring ass game. The game was horrible, man. It's such a regret. And I'm pretty sure that's what everybody said when they played Unity and then looked at freaking Sunset Overdrive. It was like, man, shit, I should have got Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
Man.
I think that just goes to how hard it is to sell a new IP these days, because people, especially at $60, like unknown quantity. Like, do I really want to drop $60 on it? At least with Halo and other stuff, like if you're gonna like it,
Yeah.
But like, it's tough, man. I mean, I'm not even sure. Even on Sony's side, like Order 1886 didn't do well, and they're probably not doing a sequel to that. I Until Dawn did well, but like it's tough to launch a new IP. And next year for Xbox, they
got a lot of balls in the air at this point.
yeah,
Man.
they got a lot of new IP next year.
Yeah, they got a lot of balls in the air, man. It's gonna be. We'll see. What we're saying is buy the fucking games, everybody. What we're saying is go out and support these games, man. You know, give them a chance. Go out and support them. I'm not saying just go spend money blindly, but go out and support the games. You know, because we want to see. I like the trend. I want to see the trend continue as long as we possibly can. So go out and buy these games, man. And Matt hit the nail on the head. The way games are made now, and the way they're selling them, it's tough to get a new IP out there and get the ball rolling. So. I think we hit every topic here today, guys. So I think that's going to go ahead and just close out the podcast, everybody.
I had a topic I wanted to throw out there.
Oh, okay. Wait, everybody, we got one
quick one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the backwards compatibility and the way Microsoft is putting it out instead of just throwing out everything massive? Do you think do you think their process of kind of like doing month to month like a group of games? What do you think about that?
Well, I had talked about this. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I had talked about this on Tick Podcast a few days ago, and we brought this up. And I think with them rolling it out slowly, it's brilliant by Microsoft. And the reason being is that when you got games coming out, let's say Alan Wake 2 is an exclusive for the Xbox One. Guess what you can do? You can package Alan Wake 1 with that as an incentive to buy the game, like they're doing with Just Cause. After they were Fallout 4, giving people the incentive to buy the game by giving them, the original game before or something like that. I think it's absolute genius. If there's a Red Dead Redemption 2, if you can give people Red Dead Redemption 2 and then give them the original Red Dead Redemption, people who haven't played it, that's a great incentive to buy on the Xbox One console. So I think they're bringing it out slowly and holding off on some of the bigger titles to give it with the new game. It's absolute genius.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Yeah. So I was just pretty much going to echo what he said. I think it's a great way. I mean, the fact that they're rolling it out, a little bit at a time, and at the same time, to piggyback off what Fame said, is that they can gauge interest. While they're rolling these games out in the next batch of games that they're going to put out. So that way they're not just, they said this as easy as just asking the devs, hey, is it okay for us to, put this on our backwards compatibility? Let's get the license and put the game out. So it's very simple, but they can at the same time, while they're rolling it out slowly, they can gauge interest in, what type of games, do our fan base want to see, rather than just kind of saying, here's 500 games, these are the ones you guys are going to get. Next 3 months, we'll throw out another 500 or whatever the case may be. So I think it's a great way to do it. It's a safe way to do it. So I think it's fantastic. I don't have any issue with the way they're doing it.
Yeah, it's about the only way you can do it, to be honest. Because if you dump all of the ones that you can do immediately, what do you have to talk about? From a marketing perspective, it makes perfect sense because every single month you can have the conversation again, like, here's 10 games, and then in February, here's 20 games, and then March, it constantly keeps Xbox in the conversation, constantly is in the news, people are always looking at, from that perspective, and then, it gives time, because they said, they're working with publishers, why isn't Red Dead on there? Is Red Dead coming? Is 2K, and are they waiting for the eventual Red Dead Redemption 2 to finally do it? Because a lot of these things are also based around promotions and stuff. I think Fame said it before. If Alan Wake or Quantum Break comes out, maybe here's Alan Wake is finally backwards compatible. Maybe they throw Alan Wake in it, as a pre-order bonus and stuff like that. There's a lot of marketing potential for those games. Plus, to be honest, there's not even it wouldn't even make sense to do them all at once because you can only get them on the 360 or the Xbox.com. There's no way to even buy them on the One yet, which is coming next year. Next year they're going to have a 360 store in there, and where you can buy those games. So the fact that wasn't ready, there was no reason to come out with however many they were going to come out with. Plus, maybe they can actually, when they take the sales from the, okay, so here's what these games were selling before, here's what they're selling now, here's the increase. They can maybe go to some publishers who are on the fence and be like, hey, look at this game. this game increased 500% in sales. Are you sure you don't want to get some legacy sales from your game? And that might actually change some publishers' opinions, and then you might see more games on it that wouldn't have been on it at first, you know?
That's true. There's a lot of leverage for Xbox, and that's what Matt's saying. And shout out to Jamie Moran too, who's a avid listener of the podcast. He always in here. He did say also too. He just tweeted me that some of the games that have licensed music, they need the deals to be renegotiated also too. So there's other things that have to go into that too. So that's a great point. Shout out to Jamie too. So that was a great topic too, live. Yeah, you're right. That was a good one, man. Good point.
Yeah,
So
no
I think at this point, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode of the Shop Podcast. Like I always say every time we do this, I appreciate everybody here on the panel. I want to appreciate my special guest, Fame. No problem you being a little bit late, man. We all understand life happens, man. You got a family, we get it. No problem.
Yeah, man.
It's just an honor. It's just an honor for me to have you on in the first place, man. And I really appreciate you being a friend, you being able to come on here and take the time out of your day to do it, because I know you have a lot of other things that you could be doing. So I really do appreciate it, man. For sure.
Thanks, my brother.
No problem. Same thing I always say to Matt. Also to you two live. Everybody is here. I really appreciate it. You guys watching. Without you guys watching, supporting, there wouldn't be any of this. There wouldn't be a Shop Podcast. Also want to give a shout out to my boy, my little bro, Elite Gamer. I know people have been hitting me up on Twitter about where he's at. It's just scheduling issues, everybody. I don't want you guys to worry, think we getting into having some kind of problem or some kind of beef or anything like that. No, nothing there. It's just scheduling issues. He has work. I have work. We're gonna work something out. Shout out to Tim Dog too. Couldn't be with us here today. He's one of the usual guys. He had some work issues going on too. Had to work late. You know how it is, people. So we just had to rock out with who we had. But I always try and get the best possible people on here, guys that I really enjoy. So anybody want to shout themselves out before we get out of here? Fame, you want to go ahead and shout yourself out before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say if you guys check out the channel, I think I put out pretty decent content. I am from the official WeGameHere.com. Make sure you guys check out the website. And just a heads up, we are currently looking for new writers for our website. So you guys can definitely, if you want to write and talk about video games, please come check us out. And like I said, I just want to apologize for being late for the show today. Life kind of hit me kind of hard. I got a wife and a newborn baby girl, so it kind of had me wrapped up with time. I do apologize, but I want to thank you guys so much for having me on. More than appreciated. Thank you guys so much. No
problem. You want to shout yourself out, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, if you have anybody out there who wants to follow me on Twitter, it's Rand_L_Thor_19. This is my gamer tag with underscores in between. I don't tweet that much. So I won't clog up your feed. Well, at least not until I get around the million. Then I probably will. And if you ever want to see me stream, I do stream. That'd be on twitch.tv/XBLAfans. So if you want to drop by, I think tonight I'll be streaming Need for Speed, the new one. So
nice. Check him out, everybody. Get out there. Matt, one of the true gamer. Just check his gamer score. That's what he tells the ladies too when he meets.
Yeah, check it out, yo. It's big.
You use that on the chicks, huh, Matt?
Yeah, you know it.
I know how it goes. You want to shout yourself out live?
Yeah, no doubt. This is your boy Livewire. The crazy dude with the squeaky voice. And check out my videos. I put up a couple of new ones. Always getting at them ponies. But I gotta get back to my wife because she's, she gotta get, her quality time. And then I gotta get back to my other wife, which is Laura Croft.
All right, man. No problem, man. So we all finna get out of here. We appreciate the support. And we'll catch you guys next week. It'll probably be Saturday again until my schedule changes. I'm gonna get with Elite. Tim, like I said, we'll try and figure out something for you guys, but we appreciate the support. Speed to the love, man. We all out. Y'all have a good weekend, everybody. We out of here.
All right. Peace.